What's going on, guys? Chad here with Forest Family Homestead. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about, farming on 5 acres. Um, I don't have hay fields. I have hay fields that I go bale, which is at like my father's house, which isn't too far from here. Other people around the area that let me bale their fields and whatnot. But just the farming portion as far as the animals and whatnot on 5 acres. You can do it. I have 2 cows and the horse down in the pasture right here. The pasture's right around probably I'd say 2 acres. Um, and that's fine for them. They have the grass to forage. I block them up towards the top in the wintertime, and they get hay all winter because obviously they can't really find the grass too well underneath snow, and we get a lot of snow here in upstate New York. But they do get hay all winter long, whether it be bales that I get from my buddy down the road, or dry bales that you see like right here behind me. They do get their feed, and they get grain as well. Through the winter time I give them a little bit of grain, warm them up a little bit. But as far as like 2 cows and the horse, they have plenty down there. They all share it, and they still usually don't even clear it out that much. But regardless, I do, like I showed you guys in a previous video, I do mow to feed the pigs and whatnot during the summer. So if I have a big area that hasn't been mowed in a while, I obviously get more grass than the pigs can eat, so the cows get it. The horse doesn't touch it. It's not good for the horse. It'll burn his stomach. But the cows do eat it, and they usually don't let them in there to get it anyway if they get free grass like that they don't have to pick. The goats get grass as well. The pigs obviously get the grass. I guess it comes down to how your layout is as far as how much, of your yard, your backyard or your field you want to give up to certain animals of whatever sort you have. Pigs are good because they don't need a lot of area to be raised on. Goats are pretty much the same. They don't need a whole lot. They don't really graze down so close to the ground that it takes, forever to grow back. They pretty much just chew off the tops, and that's about it. Whereas like cows, they chew down pretty low, but at the same time they walk on it, so it takes that regrowth a little longer to come back. But like I said, the goats get grain, they get other grass clippings and whatnot as well, so they don't even really care so much to graze where they're at. Cows, horses, and stuff like that, obviously they say 3 acres per cow, but you don't have to. You really don't have to. As long as you can supplement them with the feed that they need, you do not need 3 acres per cow. If you're trying to get them to survive on straight pasture, during the summer, the warmer times, whatever, then yeah, you probably want to have closer to 3 acres per cow because they're going to eat a lot. Or what you guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys see that people are doing is pasture rotations. You can break a smallish, decent sized pasture into a second one, and that way it gives the other side time to rest, and it's only a couple days, which if a lot of you mow your grass within 3 days, you got to mow it again, right? So it kind of goes to the same thing in the pasture. If you let them chew the grass down, it's going to grow just the same way. So pretty much you can do it, and don't get so caught up on, I don't have enough property for this, I don't have enough property for that. You can do it on an acre, you can do it on 2 acres. I do it on 5 acres, and I don't even use all 5 acres for the farming. I do have about an acre in the woods that I hunt with, that's right in the creek, and I mostly hunt at my father's, but I have raised some big buck back here. They've made friends with the cows and the horse. I don't know how it happened, but they walk up to the fence to each other and they'll greet each other every night. I also have about, I'd say just under a quarter-acre garden over here that you guys seen me planting. And hilling up. I have the potato bed up top, and I have the other garden as well that keeps the smaller plants. And that's the way I do it. Is I find, like for my potato bed, that was a piece that, you know, it was getting shaded out kind of by the pine trees. The grass didn't really grow so well. The pine needles and the pine cones dropped into it. So I turned that into a usable spot over something that I was just mowing. It was just pointless mowing it. Same thing where the little garden is up top. I was just mowing that, and it was complicated to mow because it makes like a square U-shaped type deal. So I ended up having a weed whack more than I was actually mowing because it was just a pain to get the mower in and out of. So I turned that into a usable space, which is the smaller garden where it's got the cherry tomatoes, the Brussels sprouts, some peppers, squash, zucchini, stuff like that. The bigger garden down here, I had 68 tomato plants. I have 68 pepper plants. I had the pumpkins, the watermelons. I was gonna get beans in, but I don't think I'm gonna get that far now. So, and I also did the chicken tractor for the meat birds, and that helps your growth in your yard as well. Like my grass is super green. You can tell where the meat birds have gone. You can tell where they haven't gone. But I incorporated my chicken coop into my goat's pen as well. So the chickens have their coop, and then the goat's hut is connected to right to the side of it, and then the chicken's run comes off of it in an L shape, and then the goat fence is tied into that, so their high tensile fence goes around. So I used that total space right there for 2 different animals without taking up, you know, that awkward spot for the chickens and then another spot for the goats. And the way I have to do it as well is I have to find spots that work if I'm going to use high tensile fence that I can still hook into the fence charger as well. So a lot of times sometimes I think on the fly, sometimes I think about it and I say, hey, I can use this space right here that's normally, you know, it's wet at the bottom but it's dry at the top, doesn't grow good grass usually. I'll let the goats fertilize that for me and chew out all the weeds and whatnot, and they do great at it. The cows and the horse, the leach field actually is way down in the field. It comes out to like 600 feet of pipe all the way down to the leach field. So whenever the front half of the pasture gets flooded with rainwater, the cows and the horses, they'll go to the back side of the pasture because it's dry. Because the leach field only goes about halfway through, and you'll see it pool up, and then it'll drain right off. Within a half an hour, it's gone. So I split that up so that they can eat on the back half of the pasture still, even when it rains. And like I said, everything that I have as far as their huts and stuff is all reclaimed lumber that I've used from stuff, fence panels that are in good shape, everything like that. A lot of the stuff that I build around here is reclaimed lumber. So you guys can do it on 5 acres. It is possible. You just have to pretty much draw yourself a picture. Even if you have to draw it on paper, draw yourself a picture of your property and think what's going to fit you best and what's possible, I guess you can say. Because you can even if you have an acre of, you know, field or yard out back of your house and the rest is wooded, you can still grow cows in the woods. They'll eat the leaves that fall off the trees. They'll trim up all those briars and stuff that are out there. They get picky, but you still can. You might have to supplement some more hay but they will eat a lot of the stuff that's in the woods. So don't think just because you have a small yard, but you have, 5 acres or less, that you can't do it. You can, and it is possible. You just have to sit down and think about where you want to place stuff and how you want to do it, what's going to benefit you, what's going to make it easiest for you. You got to think about winter time. Is it going to be a hassle to get to where you originally want to put it, or you have to truck water to it, with 5-gallon buckets, or you got to carry hay from here to there. Right now I'm sitting under a carport that I bought. It's open in the back, open in the front, and the sides come about a quarter of the way down. I put plywood sides on it, reclaimed stuff I got. It's T111 that I got from a neighbor. He didn't want it anymore. I put it up on the sides. It blocks all but a quarter of it. So I got this carport specifically just for hay. And I put it right down by where all the animals are, so when I go bale, I can come down and drop the hay right here and stack it, and it's close. So wintertime, I just have to truck it down here through the snow, which after a couple days, I beat a path down through here, and I can feed right here. I mean, the cows are 6 feet out the back of this carport, and I'm there. The goats are 20 feet that way. The pigs they're hooked right into this cow fence, so they're only 6 feet that way. I try to keep things close, and for when I'm gone, things can be taken care of easily. I try to make things easy on myself and other people that help out around here, instead of, hey, you got to do this, you got to truck water from all the way up by the shed in the driveway all the way down here. No, I have a hose that runs down here. In the wintertime, the hose stays out. I just make sure I blow the line out so the water doesn't freeze in it. Yeah, it's a little extra, but guess what? It works for me, and it's easy for me because I can turn that water on and I can fill a 150-gallon tote down here that has a heater in it, and I run 150, 200 feet of extension cord down here just for a heater for the tub of water. So yeah, it takes a little more work, but at the same time it takes a little less because it's less work on me. Unless the hose freezes in the winter, then it's a little more work on me. I'll sit out here for a couple hours thawing the hose out. But for the most part, it works for me. So you got to figure out what works for you and where you want to put stuff, and just do it. Don't hesitate on a lot of stuff. Don't think too much on it. Can you do this? Can you do this? Yeah, you can do it. Just do it. Figure out where you want to put stuff and just put it there. And then if you want to make modifications to it later, or you want to move it later, whatever. If you find it's more helpful all the way across the yard on the other side of the property, just move it. But you have to, it's kind of like a trial and error. You have to see what works for you before you know what works for you. And that's what I've done around here. And that's worked for me easily. You learn stuff that you haven't ever known before, ever learned before, and it might be hard in the beginning, but once you get it down, you'll get it. So with that being said, you can do it on 5 acres, you can do it on less. Just do it. Go out there and do it. You have to do it, otherwise you won't know. So I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. I just wanted to give you guys a little insight that this is only 5 acres. I don't have 100 acres. I don't have 50 acres. I have 5. Well, I have 5.5, but I don't, So, with that being said, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Help out a little bit. I'll see you guys on the next video. I just want to do this short video. It's a jury day. I can't really do much. It just rained for a couple hours, so make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. See ya.